Hey guys, this is Andy, and today we're gonna do some sketchy shit. Today we're gonna talk about one of the biggest problems these cars have, and that's hidden rust. Why that is such a huge problem on these is really two reasons. A, these cars have a bunch of hidden body cavities because they were one of the first unibody cars. So they have all sorts of box sections, frame rails, shelves in here, cavities in here that you literally can't see from the outside. And because they had really poor sealing from the factory, water and mud and dirt got in to those through all those bad sealed sections, collected in there and rotted these cars from the inside out. In fact, when I first got this car, it looked fantastic until I actually started poking at it. So we are going to specifically take a look at how I address the front section here with a three-step process. This is going to be step one, which is inspection and cleaning. Parts 2 and 3 will be actually removing the rust with a chelator. That'll be part 2. And then part 3 will be painting the inside of those cavities with moisture cured urethane and a long reach Wandy spray gun. Okay, this is part 1, inspection and cleaning. Inspection and cleaning entails a number of steps. So one is chemically washing these areas. So chemically going through with a continuous spray, removing all the existing crud and junk, and we're going to talk about how to chemically remove that with sodium hydroxide. And that's also usually going to need some mechanical help, and that's why we're going to do some sketchy shit. So I'm going to go over how I use the spinning flail of death inside of those cavities to break up a lot of the existing rust and crud and so forth, and make the chemistry's job as easy as possible to get that stuff loose. In fact, this is what I got out from just the cleaning steps. So this is mud and loose rust and existing paint and just various junk that cleaned out of there. And this is literally out of just the front cross membry thingy and the lower front frame rails, and that's this. This is what I got out of the rocker panels. So yeah, the rockers were much worse, but okay. The cleaning step is super important and absolutely has to be done first because of how these cars rust. So these look, from what I could tell, pretty low quality paint that moisture could seep through and actually creep under. So you have like the paint layer there, then water would actually creep under it, and then capillary action would draw the water underneath the paint. And then so these would actually literally rust underneath the paint, and the paint would hold the water in there. So if we try and hit this with a rust remover, and I've tried this is how I know this, the rust remover will basically just sit on top of the paint, and it won't easily attack the rust underneath. So that's why we have to get all of the existing paint layer off first. Why sodium hydroxide? We use sodium hydroxide because it's super effective at removing existing paint. In fact, this is what commercial paint strippers use, is they dip the cars in a hot caustic bath. This also dislodges a lot of the loose rust. It won't chemically interact with rust, but it hydrates it and loosens it up and allows it to basically be washed away. And then it basically preps the inside with a minimal amount of rust and gets it ready for the cleaner. So let's take a look at the pumping system. This is my heated recirculating pump system that I made. This is actually my parts washer, and then I repurposed it to do the pumping on the car. So basically how this works is this starts with a recirculating pump. So this is a 110 volt like house recirculating pump. I got this on eBay. It's a Vivor for I think $50. It's super important to get the high-end stainless steel one, because you will be pumping sodium hydroxide through there. This will eat the aluminum and copper ones. So you need the stainless steel impeller. This then pumps it out through here into this heater that I made. This is a welded up stainless steel manifold with one of these cartridge heaters that's in there. And the cartridge heater is... okay. And the cartridge heater is controlled by this fish tank thermostat. So I have the thermocouple here on the side, so it senses the temperature, and then just turns this cartridge heating element on and off. So the fluid goes into the heater, it gets heated, then it goes into the filter. The filter it's one of these regular house filters. These are super important because as you're cleaning, they will... what the hell? Okay. The filter is super important because as you're pumping away, all that sludge will go into here, and then those will clog up the tips, the spray tips. So need to keep it clean because they'll clog up. Okay, so it comes out of the heater through these hoses into this distribution manifold. This is just a piece of pipe with these little pneumatic fittings that I screwed into there with, I think this is like 5/16 or 8 millimeter hose. And then these go into these little spray nozzles, and these are just spray nozzles that I got on Amazon for, they're like extended reach spray cans, and yeah, they literally just, the little tips just squeeze right into these hoses, and it works great. If you need a bigger volume, just leave it open and it sprays fine. So anyway, that's how these that's how this is hooked up, and that was set up underneath the car. So let's see this thing in action. So as a first step, I'm gonna strip that paint and crud and mud from the inside. So I'm gonna add some sodium hydroxide, aka drain cleaner, to this. So just go ahead and sprinkle this in there and let it go. And yeah, it just drains out of all these many holes in this front assembly. Let's take a look here. Yeah, I think a big reason of why water and mud got in here is this is a very poorly sealed area. So yeah, you can see it's pouring out of there. No sealant there. There's this part seems to be okay, but yeah, there's really there's no sealant there. No sealant there. So basically water can just splash up in here and then splash in there and then collect in the bottom of this cross piece thingy. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and give this all cleaned out, and let's go ahead and let this run for a while. So the filter here is completely, basically clogged up with this rusty goo that got washed out of there. Now, so here's a really good example of the loosened insoluble rust. You can see it's just collecting here in the plastic sheathing, and it just collects down there, and yeah, you can see it is totally insoluble, but the mechanical action of the water and sodium hydroxide going through there basically loosened it up. It helped to hydrate it, make it a little bit looser, so it dislodged, and then now it's just floating around and collecting there. So I had to shut the pump off and let it sit overnight because it was getting late. So this is what it looks like in the morning. So there is the stuff down there, and you can see all that crud just collected. So now that we got the first round done of clearing all of the loose sludge, getting all the loose paint off, getting all the loose dirt and grime, and some of the loose less adhered rust off, we're ready to start hitting phase 2 of actually hitting the rust. So basically I want to make the Rust 911's job as easy as possible, to basically have as little rust for it to work with and to break that up. So we are going to do some pretty sketchy shit. We're going to hit this with a spinning flail of death. So drill a piece of stainless steel wire or rope, and we're going to stick this thing up in there and flail it around. But like I said, this is some pretty sketchy shit. So it's safety time. You can see, look, this was a brand new wire, and yeah, this took a lot of rust off. So yeah, this does a lot. So okay, so probably need a longer one to get in there. Yeah, I definitely need a longer one to get in there. On the center frame rails and rocker panels, all those things, I use really long sections of this. I think this is quarter. This stuff is a lot easier to work with because it's a lot stiffer, but it doesn't really get into these. Well, you know what? On these holes, you know what? This might work. The bigger one on here. Now we are just going to, this is a custom nozzle I made, so again, if you're interested, let me know and I'll do a more in-depth video about this, but let's take a look at cleaning it out with it. Interesting. that is the that's just the loose sludge. That is after I brushed it, and then washing it with the with just a rinse, which is just an ammonia rinse, just to keep it from flash rusting. So it's not to remove it. Yeah, it's just to remove the sludge, but yeah, that is a crazy amount of sludge that came out from just this one side. So we'll take a look inside here in a second when I dry it off. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and give the other side a rinse, and then we'll come back and take a look around. Okay, there we are. Okay. So this stuff is, yeah, it's just this brown, mud. I mean, it just literally is sludge. And all right, here is the filter. Interestingly enough, the actual filter is, it's shockingly not super clogged. I'm obviously, I'm just going to toss this because I have some new ones. These are like cheap. So I'm going to toss this. And that is what these stuff look like. And yeah, that's bad. Okay, I think I'm going to see what I can do about filtering this, just to give you guys an idea of how much sludge I poured out of here. So here we are after the initial cleaning. So going through the cavity here, we can see that all of the loose paint is gone, all of the mud is gone, and we're left with a relatively tightly adhered rust layer. And this rust layer, it's been loosened up by the water. It's been hydrated, and that is pretty much now primed and ready for the chemical rust removing step, and we'll go through that next time. So I'll upload that in, I don't know, a week or so. Anyway, okay, so thanks for watching. If you find this interesting, please let me know. Any questions that I can answer. I'm a physicist. I'll try and answer any of those questions about why I'm doing what. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and leave me a comment, and see you next time. Thanks.